Alright, so I have a GM roller lifter here. I was going to show you how to take it apart and then clean it and everything and put it back together. So what you want to do is, if you can, use your finger or something to kind of push down. At the same time, you want to get yourself a pick tool so you can pry on that little clip right there. You can see how that clip kind of moves out like that. If you can't push this down with your finger, because sometimes they are pumped up full of oil or they're just stuck from not having proper oil changes and so on, you can get yourself a socket extension, or do like a 1/4 inch socket extension, and then wrap the bottom with a rag and push down really hard, and maybe have a helping hand or something to pop this spring out. But in my case, this one is super easy to get undone. You can see how easy this comes out, for me anyways. And now I got this clip out, and then you're going to see how all this comes apart. You're going to have this little piece. This is what pushes on the push rod. This is going to be, I believe that's a some sort of check valve. I'm not really sure what the name of that would be. And then when you're taking it apart, of course, this is going to have some suction on it because there is a little check valve in there. So it's probably going to fight you a little bit trying to take it apart. You can also use snap ring pliers, the ones that are meant for spreading a snap ring. You can even put those in there and squeeze real hard and pull on this, so that way you can get some outwards force on the inner piston of this lifter. In my case, I'm going to look for that little hole that oil goes through inside of this lifter to kind of hook this in there and pull this out. There we go. I broke the vacuum that's in there and it came out. So that's the hole I was putting this into to pull on. So on the inside, you can get your little pick tool in there and kind of pull on it, being careful not to go all the way through, obviously. And then you're going to have a spring that comes out of there. Whoops. Not to lose that. And so, of course, you're going to want to soak all this stuff in some sort of solvent, or you can use gasoline or whatever. If you have an ultrasonic cleaner, you can do that as well. Make sure you get it very thoroughly clean, because if this plunger gets stuck down, you're going to get valve noise. You're going to lose possibly a lifter, or a push rod's going to pop out of the lifter or something. So now here is the little check valve. You're going to go around and pop that up. And it doesn't matter if this doesn't push back in perfectly, if it doesn't have a press fit or anything, because it's mainly held in with this spring right here. You can see it's got a lip around, it's like a little hat. So there we go. You're going to have your check ball, and then you're going to have your spring, and that is everything to your lifter, minus the rollers, of course, and all that good stuff. So of course, check your roller. Check your roller, and everything feels good on it. It doesn't have any rough spots or anything like that, or catching or anything, so that's a good sign. To put it back together, what you do is, to reassemble it, you can put your check ball in there like that, and then you put your spring into your little top hat piece like that if you want, and then kind of quickly cap it if you want. You can either do it that way, or you can also do it this way. Either way works, it's not too bad. And then you just push it together like that. It's simple as that. And then of course you've got your spring right here, and then you've got your lifter body. And of course, use some assembly lube or a little bit of motor oil or something when assembling these. Of course, I'm not doing that here because I'm just using this as a demonstration. So you can see that's in there. You should have a nice spring action going on there. And then you want to put in your little plate. Like I said, I believe that's some sort of check valve as well, to keep the the push rod from draining back. do here is I'll push down on this with this little pick tool if I can. I might be able to do this one by hand. Let's see. And don't fill these too much with oil when you first are assembling, because it's going to make it impossible for you to push this down, because you're going to be trying to push, you're going to be basically trying to act as a hydraulic, pushing it down. It's not going to work. So you want to just have to fight against your spring pressure rather than hydraulic pressure, because you will probably never get it in. And then, of course, push down, and it'll pop back together like that. Sometimes you can take, once again, if you have a pair of snap ring pliers, this little spring right here, before you put it in, you can take your snap ring pliers that are meant for opening up a snap ring and just open that spring up a little bit to give it a little more tension outwards, so when it pops in, it's less likely it's gonna pop out or anything on you. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, like and subscribe. But you can see here, I've got a nice spring action on there. I'm not reusing this lifter, so I'm not worried about it being damaged or whatever. I'm just doing this video for demonstration. If you have noisy lifters or a lot of play in your between your push rod and your lifter or something like that, you can take your lifters apart and clean them real good, and hopefully it'll solve a few issues.